chop, chop, chop. I don't need anything to be me. I don't need clothes. I don't need food. I don't need money. I don't need a partner. I don't need a house.
How can you be yourself if you don't have food on the table?
Is that true that I cannot be me without those things? Chop, chop, chop. Oh, geez, I make many mistakes in my life. Why would I want to apologize? I don't need to be right.
Lots of aha moments.
I don't need your approval, your approval, your approval. Is this interesting or is this not interesting or is this crazy? Is you are okay within yourself. Now let us just step back a little bit and look at why that is a focus point. So remember now, our life has been constantly about this disproving, and constantly we were not present in our life. Now that we've made this, recognized this, made the step change, we are now okay. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I am just living my life as an acorn would unfold in an oak tree. I'm just unfolding my life, manifesting my life. And now here's an important thing that I wish to labor a little bit. You are yourself. You need nothing first. Preempting me. So the fact of the matter is, I don't need anything to be me. I don't need clothes. I don't need food. I don't need money. I don't need a partner. I don't need a house. I don't need anything first. All I need to recognize is I am me and I don't need anything. So I don't need a car to be me. I can be me. Doesn't mean I can't have a car or I shouldn't have a car or they wouldn't want a car. All I'm saying is to be me, to stop this proving and disproving. I don't need anything. Just be me, and that's it. So people have asked me, oh, but what about money? Oh, but what about several things? But when you ask that, you are not getting the point that being me needs nothing. But I want to emphasize that does not mean I'm going to isolate myself somewhere and then I'm me and then I'm fine. Not at all. In fact, being me and breathing my life into my vision and manifesting myself needs many things, but those needs are not about me needing to be me. I am me as I am. I'm not sure if that concept is coming over clearly. Any questions there? Any doubts?
You just said some people would ask about money. I think some people might also ask about just basic survival. How can you be yourself if you don't have food on the table? And if your environment is not conducive to just being able to live.
Let's elaborate on that. So the difference is, I could say I can't be me because I'm hungry. I can't be me because I haven't got a roof over my head. But now I'm just asking that question back. Is that true that I cannot be me without those things? Or am I still able to be me with or without those things? Okay, so that would imply that I would now not be me if I haven't got food. But let me just ask you this. It's a question that I pondered very, very often. I said, would I take better care of myself being me in my first choice self, or would I take better care of myself wanting to disprove something about myself, which is not true? Would I then take better care of myself in that condition, in that circumstance? And each and every time my answer was, why would the one be able to take better care of me than the other? But the care that I'm then taking about me as a first choice self includes with every breath automatically everyone and everything. Linda, does that assist with the question that you asked?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so that next point there then is you are accountable and responsible to yourself. Now, that means then me living me living the source of me, that me is not accountable to some fear, is not accountable to some standard, it's not accountable to some norm. But please be very careful here. I'm still going to pay my taxes. I'm not suddenly not going to pay my taxes. And I'm just giving an example. So accountable for my life, responsible for my life. Therefore, if I say, example, I'm going to be at a meeting, it would be important to me, and I would then be at that meeting. And at some occasions, and it happened today, that I was in meeting A, and I realized, oops, I need to be in meeting B any minute now. And I just excused myself in the meeting, and I checked with the person B who I was in a meeting with, could we just reschedule? Yes, we could reschedule, and I could then finish meeting A. So that happens, but it's a rare occasion that it happens. I would also book myself enough time for a meeting. And those are just small things. Those are just very, very small things. But the fact of the matter is, I'm responsible to me living my life. And by automatically me living my life, I'm going to benefit, everyone else would benefit, and everything else would benefit. I would not be responsible for or to anyone or anything. I would also not need to apologize. Not because I'm now suppressing wanting to apologize. I would be living every moment as the last important moment of my life. Why would I want to apologize? So now, if I'm not living that way, yes, I would apologize continuously. Why do I apologize? Because it might be read as, ooh, I need to start disproving again. And if I am me moment for moment, there would be no need for apologizing. And I'm just giving small examples. There are huge examples, but those are just small examples, day to day, every single day.
Emmanuel, apologies do have a place somewhere, just not in the scenario that you are painting.
Linda, just a moment. I'm not sure I get what you're saying. Are you saying that I'm painting scenarios where apologies won't be necessary? But what I am really saying, as living a first choice self life, there would be no need to apologize. Automatically, there would be no need.
Yes.
Please have a look at why you have the need to apologize. I'm saying that to everybody here tonight. I'm also saying that to everybody who's listening. And if you have a need to apologize, please write it in the comments and elaborate a little bit what that need is. And if you have the honesty with yourself, and if you're brutally honest, and if you have the courage, you would see you are apologizing, because what would people think of me if I behave like this and like that? Which is back to, I'm trying to prove somebody. I'm trying to prove something about me to somebody. Oh, and let me say, even to myself, I would say, oh, okay, that behavior was actually fine. Oh, wait, that behavior wasn't fine. I better watch about that in future. But that behavior, why? Let me just ask this. Is this, assuming for a moment, this 1% that I'm talking about is indeed factually correct? Is this interesting, or is this not interesting, or is this crazy, or does it make sense at some level in your mind?
Provide another scenario, Emmanuel,
Please
and
do.
then let's unpack it.
Please do.
So I'm coming around the corner and I'm about to park my car, and I did not see another car from the oncoming traffic going into that parking. And I go into the parking, and then I realize, oh my goodness, I should have given way to this other person. So automatically in that moment, I'm going to go, oh, sorry. I didn't see you. Is that then apologizing for nothing? Because that's not me apologizing because I feel that I'm not worthy. That's just apologizing because I realized, oh, I did not benefit the other person through what I was doing.
Okay. And let me thank you, Linda. Very interesting question. I could, while walking in a shopping mall, stand on somebody's foot. And let's say that somebody is somebody quite a bit smaller than me, and now I'm really hurting that person. So we could say with that, as you said, oh, okay, I acknowledge that I hurt you. I acknowledge that I didn't see you. So I'm acknowledging the reality. Now, in the person's foot that I stood on, there's nothing I could do about it. But if I feel so strongly about having cut the other person's parking off, and I really have time, I could reverse and give them the parking and go on and find another parking. So now we might want to say, is there a difference by acknowledging and not making an excuse or apologizing, but just acknowledging, oops, is there maybe a difference? Or is Emmanuel splitting hairs?
So is saying sorry in that moment then not a social construct that we've made up, and that's just the way we communicate with each other? Because some people might find it rude if you don't apologize.
Linda, but I'm actually saying something else. Is
Okay.
me acknowledging that I didn't see you an apology? Or is it just an acknowledgement? Or is it one and the same thing? I'm just sugarcoating it. Please tell me if you think that.
Hmm.
I'm definitely going to say to the person who I stood on in the mall, and that person might be quite a, what do you call it, energetic person, and slap me. Okay.
Hmm.
And then I'm going to acknowledge, really, I didn't mean that intentionally. You could say, okay, that is an apology.
Okay.
Okay, this is an interesting one, and just maybe we're going to get many, many comments about this one. So following on from the responsibility and the accountability in this focus point, we are also not afraid to make mistakes. And the point about making mistakes is we are comfortable within ourselves that making a mistake is not about that I need to, again, feel I need to prove something. I'm comfortable enough within myself to say, oh, geez, I make many mistakes in my life. So part of this particular focus point is I'm willing to make mistakes. I don't need to be right. I also don't need, like we say in conventional work, I don't need analysis paralysis to make sure, ooh, if I do this, I'm maybe going to make a mistake. It doesn't matter if I make a mistake. I'm probably learning more out of making mistakes than wanting to never make mistakes. Because that means I could do 30 things, chop, 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 and say, this is not working, this is not working, this is not working, this is not working. So now I have lived experience of what doesn't work. And I'm then going to stumble on, oh, this works. But while I'm contemplating and being paralyzed to move forward, so now because I'm not afraid to make mistakes, I also live my creativity. You are able to live your creativity. You are able to live your innovation. You're going to try out things. You're going to attempt to do things in a different way. You are stuck here. You don't know what the answer is. You don't know what the next step should be. And by looking at your creativity and your innovation and giving that air, you would probably make a few more mistakes, but you're not afraid to make them, because as you are proceeding, you are living that experience, and with each mistake that you make, you know, oh, this doesn't work, oh, this doesn't work, and you go back to a point before that, and you then take another path. And let's also take another one. I could be too afraid to decide. How to decide? How to decide? Now, if we say how to decide, it would imply that how to decide on doing this or that. Why do I need to know how to decide? Just decide this. Oh, it works. Oh, just decide this. Oh, it doesn't work. Now you could say, but there's money involved. Well, if you are on your last 2 cents and you need to buy bread, you better not make that decision now, because you might need some money first, depending on what it is that it's about. Okay. And of course, again, inner peace is present. I'm not doing these things to attain inner peace. I'm able to do these things because of the inner peace that's present. Right, so I found this to be quite an interesting topic, especially the questions that you asked, Linde, and just maybe other people also have similar questions. And we invite everyone to, first of all, subscribe, like, share, put your comments in, and don't think we only want comments that we are going to like. No, no, no. If there are comments that you want to pose difficult questions, we could then cover those difficult questions as well. So the next one is, you are the source of your life. So let me just elaborate on that a little bit. So now, please look at this abstract. If I show you an acorn, which is going to grow into an oak tree, that acorn is going to unfold automatically into that oak tree. And how we are conceived, we are also going to automatically be either a man or a woman as we grow up. And now there's a difference with us. The oak tree has got baked into it certain fairly rigid behavior. But us humans are not superior at all. We are just another something like the oak tree, which falls into the everything category, and we are in the everyone category. So we have the notion of creativity, the notion of innovation. And part of the evolution of us as humans is not to stifle that creativity, it's not to stifle that innovation, it's to let that rip. And live that and enjoy that and witness, for instance, witness myself as I'm living my life. I see, oh, okay, that was interesting what happened there. Oh, that was quite difficult. Oh, this unfolded this way. I wonder if I did that, how it would have unfolded. but none of that owns me. I'm just watching and enjoying, like I'm enjoying a movie. Some movies I enjoy, some movies I don't enjoy. So I'm looking at me as a movie playing out in front of me, as I am the movie as it is going. Now, we could choose, of course, to do anything we want to do. We could even choose to continue the life of not being ourselves, our second choice self. We could also choose, and that would, by the way, not be a free choice. We could also choose to free us from that. And that would be a free choice because we are not afraid to make that choice. And we could then unfold, and in being ourselves, automatically benefit everyone and everything. So I am then saying here tonight, we have the choice to free ourselves from this figment of our imagination. We could then recognize the acorn of an oak tree, that's what we are. But baked in that is not only the physicalness, there is also what we do. And that can be the whole life pretending we're something that we're not, or just being ourselves. So I think we are quite fortunate to not have baked in us that we are going to unfold in a certain way, because I think I wouldn't enjoy that. That my path is scripted for myself, is scripted for me. So my life is predetermined. I would like to have predetermined it for myself. So we talk here at Peace Evolution about being the source of ourselves. So I am the source of my life. Okay. Now here's another one. You are independent. I would like to elaborate on the you are independent. So it's also very clear that I don't mean that I'm independent, that I'm going to isolate myself. I am independent because my need is that I need nothing. I don't need your approval, your approval, your approval. I don't need money. I don't need anything. Which then means in my independency, please follow this point now. In my independency, by me participating in what I'm doing, I'm automatically giving. Everybody benefits and everything benefits. Not because I think, oh, what can I do? Oh, wait, I better do this because then it's going to benefit that. No, no, no. Just by being me, automatically, everyone and everything benefits. And therefore, I say, you would be independent, not dependent in being needy, to be recognized in being needy, to I'm going to cry to draw attention. I'm just using some loose examples. Any questions here?
This is not dependency as a child on your parents to look after you, but more like you said, you crying to get attention. What other examples of that can we maybe use, Emmanuel?
Okay, let's use the child crying for attention as an example. So now I'm going to put an interesting question, and I want to remind the viewers, please add your comments about this topic. How many children are born today for the sake of the child? In other words, the parents want to give birth to a child for the child to have an earth walking experience. Instead, a child is being born, first of all, because I just wanted sex and it happened that a child is conceived. Or maybe my marriage or my relationship is going to pot. And if we have a child, maybe it's going to this or that. Or for the family business to continue, I better have children. How many children are born today for the child's sake? Is my question. Now, if the child is born for the child's sake, is the parent then in a different frame of mind? Is the parent's relationship to that child then different to the one of where out of my neediness I had a child, or out of my having sex and a conception occurs as a result of that, I didn't really have the child for the child's sake. Or the consequence of two people saying blah, 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 and when we have a child, do we know it's for the child's sake? Or is it to gain something ourselves from giving that birth? So if we look at that dynamic, would that child then still cry for attention? I have, for instance, thought about that quite a bit in the sense of, let us say I had my children understanding what we are talking about now. Would I then say, oh, geez, this is quite a big responsibility to have a child? Both parents need to be involved from A to Z. If I need to have a breadwinner, who's going to be that breadwinner? Is that breadwinner the one who decides I'm going to be the breadwinner in this relationship? Could it be that we assume somebody's going to be the breadwinner? Then we see, oh my goodness me, we wanted to bring a child for the earth walking experience sake. And now we see, whoa, that is a hell of a thing, because we also need a breadwinner, etc., etc., etc. We might not have another child, or we might say, oh, we've got this down to a fine art and have 3 children. And I feel we're going to have lots of questions on this video. Linda, we're going to have lots of interesting questions, and we could do a Q&A just for all the questions. Okay. So, of course, I am now myself, you are yourself, and you do without seeking approval. You are just doing. Would people acknowledge you? Yes, they would. But you won't essentially be doing it to be acknowledged. So let's have a look at that. Let me just read it. You are you are yourself, no seeking approval, your life, you live your integrity. It's not something you do, it is what you are. So there are now those 3 points stemming from being independent, no seeking of approval, and then living your integrity. So, and also the other one, it's not something that I do with my life, it's something that I am. It's what my life is about. You live your integrity, and just summing up integrity is you say what you do and you do what you say. And I could take it a step further. I think, oh, wait, I think this is what I'd like to be doing. I then say that and then I do it. It's not that every 2 minutes I'm onto something else. And then, of course, that very last point there, it's not something that I do. It is also there, as it says, it is what you are. So this, you are the source of your life. That little acorn is going to unfold in an oak tree. That's what it is. That is the source. The acorn is the source of an oak tree. My conception is also giving life to a human being. However, I could then do something and think that's what I'm about, or I recognize that I just am that thing that I'm doing. It requires a lived experience. Any questions on those? Let us just go from the top. You are the source of your life. You are independent. You are yourself, no seeking approval. You live your integrity. It's not something that you do. It is what you are. And because of this, I spoke at the top that it's automatically going to benefit everyone and everything, even myself. Right at the top. There we are. Thank you, Lynn. And even yourself. Right. So I think we just want to stop here a little bit. And are there any questions to elaborate on this? And anyone who's watching, please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so that you would be advised, and also for how other people would then have the opportunity to also see this. And please don't forget to add comments, either comments that you agree with it or you don't agree with it. Either way is fine. Of the focus point, you address the root cause. So when we look at what we have there, right at the second focus point, you recognize how you created factor X and your second choice self. And you recognize that was created from a figment of your imagination. And you recognize you are able to uncreate it. Now, if we look at that point again, at the bottom left, you address the root cause. Now, please remember, me wanting to disprove my factor X is treating the symptom. It's not addressing the root cause. I'm merely buying this to prove something, and it's usually short-lived. Or I say, ooh, if I have that partner, I have actually arrived, or if I have that house, or my children go to that school, or any of these things that we do, or how we keep up with the Joneses, as one of the sayings go. All of that is about treating the symptom. And here at Peace Evolution, we are saying, okay, we've had enough of treating the symptom. We want to address the root cause of what we experience in our lives. We are liberating ourselves from factor X. We are uncreating that belief of ours that's a figment of our imagination. Now, any questions, any points, any concerns, any doubts? And we make video of the book that I wrote on these, all of what we discussed here tonight about my journey. And if you click this link at the top, you could see the video we made of the book. It's quite a short video. And if you enjoy that video and it resonates with you, the link to buy that ebook is in the description of that video. So the name of the book is Life Can Be Different, because I realized what I was yearning for is this different life. And part of the title is conception. What I'm saying is I'm sharing how that book was born from my journey. So I gave it was conceived from my journey. Right, so we're back to the image. I explained about addressing the root cause. I also say, I am now present in my life, or stating it as it says there, you are present in your life. Therefore, you live the different life you yearned for. Okay, so now please remember, in my own life, as my journey was continuing, I came to the realization that I yearned for a different life. Something was missing. Now, by addressing the root cause, we suddenly see what caused that yearning, that wanting of a different life. And what was missing when Linda asked me just now, I said that I found that I was missing. And because I was missing, wanting to disprove that I'm worthy, whatever that factor X wording is for yourself, and it's unique for all of us, I was living to disprove that, which means it was all based on that fear. Now, once we see that and we move that out of the way and we make the step change, suddenly we come back into our lives. Now, that's the different life that we yearn for. Also, I now recognize that nothing is missing, and nothing has ever been missing other than me being absent in my own life. And of course, again, I live this out of the inner peace. I don't live this to create the inner peace. It's because the inner peace is there that I live this. Okay, so now we have addressed those 5 points. I'm going to just read those 5 points again. If we look there on the screen on the top right, you recognize how you created your factor X and your second choice self. And there I elaborate on it. And of course, the next point is you are okay within yourself. And there I elaborate on that focus point. And then I elaborate on you are the source of your life with a few subpoints there. And then the last focus point is you address the root cause, which is now at the top. The factor X that I created, I am now addressing that at the root cause. I'm not treating the symptom by wanting to disprove anything. And as a consequence, of course, what I didn't mention now is because of me living me, no disproving, no need for that. Everyone and everything automatically benefits. If you want to, please add your comment to say, I am interested to recognize the undercurrent of my daydreams. Please add that comment. Now, please be aware, we might get no comments or we might be flooded with comments. We are going to be answering as best as what we are able to, but we're not going to answer the undercurrent. And here it comes. We would then, from that, if you want to add that, you could just say, you don't want to be on our mailing list, or yes, you want to be on our mailing list. And of course, you could just subscribe, and then automatically we would say, here is a video where we talk about when our course is ready, and then we would assist you with the undercurrent of your daydreams. But I would like to also invite you to say, where you say, I don't want to wait, I don't want to wait. Then I would like you to take my email address. My email address is in the About Us. And just email me that you are interested, and I'm going to then add you to our mailing list. Or you can say, no, I want to now speak with you, and I would then work with you to assist with your undercurrent of your daydreams. But now wait, if suddenly many people do that, of course, then it would be in a group situation. I would be very comfortable to work with up to 100 people easily on Zoom, where we would take a few people who say, please use me as the person that I would like you to work with. And then we could slowly work with a few people like that. And let's say that I work with Peter to help Peter understand the undercurrent of his daydream. It doesn't mean that Mary or John or Bridget won't also be able to do that for themselves then. Please keep that in mind. Okay, I think I have said enough now. Anything in closing from your side, Linde?
Absolutely perfect. And thank you so much for sharing everything that you did. That was really thought-provoking and mind-blowing stuff, and lots of aha moments for me personally. Really loved it. Thank you so much.
And thank you, and an absolute honor to share my journey here in this way.